And I quote him, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose." Out front now, former Trump White House attorney Ty Cobb. Ty, how significant is it for the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States to speak out like this? So Trump has a social media post on impeaching. The Chief Justice speaks out and calls out and answers the rhetoric of a sitting president.
I think it's very significant. John Roberts is by nature pragmatic and restrained. He spoke out once before with regard to Trump's rhetoric in 2018 when Trump was identifying judges as Obama judges to try to discredit them. And he made the point that there were not Obama judges or Trump judges or Clinton judges or Bush judges. There were only dedicated public servants who were independent, and the country should be grateful for that. Today, he was quite restrained, frankly. He didn't take Trump on directly. He just reiterated the point that impeachment is not a remedy for a judicial opinion with which you disagree. That's for appellate review. And that's a very simple foundational point of the rule of law. Yeah. And while the rule of law is under frontal assault by Trump, it needed to be said. And to his credit, the Chief Justice, as the protector of the integrity of the judiciary, stepped up. And
this also came as, this judge is trying to determine, Judge Boasberg in the case that Trump's referring to, that he just disparaged there in that interview, is trying to determine if Trump and his administration defied his orders in the case of those deportations over the weekend. So Trump was just asked in that interview whether he would, whether he has or would, so both questions, defy a court order. Let me play the exchange.
Going forward,
I had judges
would you
that were
defy
so
a court
corrupt.
order? Because we all know that was outrageous.
I never did defy a court order.
And you wouldn't in the future?
No, you can't do that.
There wasn't a pause there. Sort of talked to her. No, you can't do that. But I see you smiling, Ty. Do you believe him?
Oh, no. They've made it plain. Tom Homan said, we don't care what the judges said. Pam Bondi made it plain when she introduced Trump last Friday at the Justice Department that she and her people were there to serve him. That's actually not the oath they take. They take an oath to serve and protect the Constitution. No, Trump is, his march for power and adulation and wealth is well underway, and his idolaters are assisting him every step of the way. This is nuts what's going on in front of Judge Boasberg. And I think Judge Boasberg, who, by the way, is highly regarded and actually is the single most qualified judge in the country to handle the issue before him as the former head of the FISA court and the current head of the alien deportation court. So nobody knows more about the legal issues than this judge. Nobody has higher security clearances than this judge.
So can I ask you, Ty, on this?
There's no information that can be withheld.
I just want to ask you, because, the reason that the Supreme Court justice spoke out was obviously to say, to call out this issue of impeachment. But part of the social media post he responded to was Trump talking about this judge. And Trump said, he's radical left, Obama appointed. So when you talk about him, you're talking about his qualifications. And I don't like being in a position where we're supposed to talk about what the real politics of a judge are, because that is not what our system's about. But when the sitting president comes out and calls him a radical left, Obama appointed, and going through all these things, you know him. I mean, you know of him. Does that
I don't know
jive?
Him personally, but no, not at all. I don't know him personally, but I certainly know him by reputation. He had an excellent reputation as a homicide prosecutor in D.C. I prosecuted a number of homicides in my time as a federal prosecutor and followed his career closely. He's always distinguished himself. And frankly, to call him a leftist or a radical, this is a judge who ordered the release of 14,000 Hillary Clinton emails at the State Department when they were unlawfully withholding them. This is a judge who calls balls and strikes. He plays it down the middle. He's ruled, on issues, from pipelines to Clinton's emails, to Mike Pence testifying in the grand jury. He's handled some very, very serious issues, routinely is upheld on appeal, couldn't be held in higher regard, and by the judiciary. John Roberts is the individual who appointed him in his role as Chief Justice, to the FISA court and to the Alien Deportation Court. This is a very, very serious, highly respected, incredibly well-regarded judge who has has acted with very calm demeanor throughout this, even though it's clear that he's being lied to and stonewalled.
Yeah. Well, by the way, Trump treats he thinks you should be thanking him for the release of those emails, the Hillary Clinton emails.
Well,
the irony.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And for Trump to complain about, to try to shift the narrative to this judge is there to protect criminals. That's not what this is about. This is about trying to figure out whether the administration followed the law. It's sort of like complaining in a Miranda case, that, well, the guy was evil, even though he was denied his rights. Well, this isn't a country that until this president was denying people rights. And this is a fight for due process and, frankly, a fight for the rule of law.
All right, Ty, thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, Aaron.
All right. And next, the breaking news. One Republican congressman right now meeting with voters at a town hall. It's very tense. We're going to take you there live. And